starting with the NFL, we all know the situation. Mike Vrabel, Diana, Russini, and the love, not triangle, but I guess like the love debacle that seems to be going on between the two. But that situation points to a even bigger issue across the spectrum. When you look at reporter and player slash personnel relationships, a lot of times you're playing the game within the game because you want to keep said relationship, or you may need the inside track at some point, depending on said situation. But I never thought I'd see it pan out like this, where you have a reporter possibly cheating with a coach. They both have spouses of their own. So that's where the problem is. I mean, grown people could do what they want, but when you got a spouse at home on both respective sides, that's where it gets tricky. And even another issue within said issue is the national media isn't covering it like it was supposed to. And this is the problem with media, and this is why people don't trust the media, because if it was an athlete who was having an affair of some type, it would be blasted. The coverage would be through the roof. Ime Udoka in Boston, when he had his situation, the media covered it to the T. They gave names. They essentially said, hey, this is going to be the topic of discussion. Vrabel and Russini, the national media isn't saying much because it's almost like these are our friends. These are our peers. So, again, media, they want to pick. You want to pick who you want to give sides to, and you want to pick who you show grace to when this is bad. And another issue within said issue is Diana Russini gives women reporters and most women in sports media a bad rap, because the notion is they look good, but they aren't useful or productive, or they use sex to sell. And I'm going to be honest, in being in the sports media space, I've seen it so far. She could look good as all get out, but she don't know a goddamn thing. And it's not fair because you think about the relationships and it's about relationships, but people use other means to get to where they're trying to go, and it's never about the craft. So this is just another situation that taints women in a bad light. And it's something that I've been questioning for a minute. It's like sometimes it's like, hey, what is this really about? How are you really getting this inside track? How are you really getting on these platforms, and how are you really positioning yourself for opportunities? Is it because you're really good and you inquire, or are you doing more things to gain more favor? But we all know it's a game within the game, within media. That's just one of those things. You want the inside track with the players as a reporter, but it's what are you doing for it? And that relationship doesn't seem to be some friend, because said place that they were at, that happens to be a place where couples go or engagement. So, if you got your wife and she interlocked with another man in a picture, their hands are interlocked, and I'm looking at it like, what's going on? And not only that, she went out her way to publicly disrespect her husband. And for the fact, I think he came out and said something that he justified it. Man, that's a weak ass man for that, bro. You should be up out of there. You know what I'm saying? You should be up out. You should be trying to find a way to get up out of there ASAP. But it brings me to my next point. There may have been a PI investigated, because no one's going to pull up on Mike Vrabel and out of nowhere and find that picture from said angle and say, hey, what's going on over here? There may have been some suspicion, maybe working late or always spending time over here, but sometimes a person's intuition could say, hey, something about this person isn't right. They're not as loyal as they claim to be. And, let's do some research. Let's do some research. Let's start to look at, what's going on behind the scenes, because my person or my wife, or even on Vrabel's wife's side, my husband has been acting strange, or he seemed to have this certain relationship with this person. I need to see what it's about. So maybe there's been some suspicion there. But in all honesty, man, it gives women a bad look. And also, it being in media, you start to question, okay, how does she get this type of access? And she may not even be that good as a reporter, but you questioning yourself is hey, what's going on here? You know what I mean? How are you moving up the line? How are you moving up the chains, getting these certain plays, and you ain't done much? And Diana Russini, everybody's on her side. Like no one's taking her side. Like when do you hold the woman accountable? They never say anything bad about her. They're trying to wait and see. What else is there to wait and see? Disrespect your husband in public. Stay very close with said coach. The signs are there. If you walk like a duck, quack like a duck, it's a goddamn duck, not a pigeon. But you know how they do, man. You know how this game goes. You know, you can't hold them accountable for nothing. We know. It is what it is. We can get mad about it. You can shout about it. But listen, man, it's sad, man. It's sad. I don't know what's going to be done about it, but I can tell you this. Vrabel can't go to his team and just act like nothing's happened. If they give Stephon Diggs more shame than him, Stephon Diggs get more flack than his coach and what he's about to get. So I think that there should be some level of accountability on both ends and let it happen. If I'm Diana's husband, I'm loading up the clip. I'm getting the Rico ready. I'm building a case. And I'm getting everything I can up out of this. I don't know if they have kids or not, but damn it, this is bad. Like this is bad, man. You know, doing extracurricular things for the inside scoop of this access is crazy because now all the women in sports media have gotten a bad rap. There's been a million women in journalism who do great work, but because of Diana Russini, it's going to be looked like, oh, every woman sleeps around or every woman is going to try to smash their way or crack their way to the top when that's simply not true. Although we do know in sports media, there are people who look really good and you never see a body of work. Where's the body of work at? You just look good and you be everywhere. Ain't that something? Ain't that strange? So you tell me what it is